waiting for Superman, there was a renewed energy for reform in public education. In your opinion, what reforms will best improve education in Connecticut, and how should they be funded?
It's a good question. I wish I'd seen the movie to answer this. But the legislature last year passed new guidelines for education. There's new teacher evaluation guidelines out there with ties to student academic growth. It's not extreme, it's a start. We have to look at what other countries are doing. The United States is falling behind and Connecticut is falling behind. I would not be opposed to looking at longer days for school and having, get my thoughts together here. Again, just looking at what other states do, other countries do, we need to catch up. All set.
My answer is simple. Like I said before, let the teachers do their job. Nobody knows their job better than they do. We have great teachers in this town. We pay very well for our teachers. We can recruit the best teachers in the state. Let them do their job. That's what we hire them for. The state of Connecticut needs to stay out of it and let the teachers do their job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Nelson, what do you propose to do to keep businesses and small companies in Connecticut?
Well, one is relieve these taxes. My electric bill at my office is $1,000 a month. May not seem like a lot owning a business, but I am a small business and I am getting smaller by the month. It is a lot. I have a house I have to support also, and when I get paid every 3 months, you worry about how you're going to pay your mortgage. And then you hear about them burying $1 billion in my electric bill, the entity tax, all these other taxes they put on me. My license, my real estate broker's license. I read an article where the sportsmen thank a particular politician for reducing their fees for the hunting license. What about all my licenses I have to have mandated by the state where they doubled the cost on me? Is that promoting friendly business in town? No, that's forcing me out of business. It's got to stop. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Nelson. Mr. Kiner.
So could you just repeat the last part of the question?
What do you propose to do to keep businesses and small companies in Connecticut?
Sure. Not only do we need to keep or grow Connecticut jobs and keep what we already have, we need to invest in new jobs. And that's going to start right here in Enfield, Connecticut as Nutuck Community College. Green jobs are the jobs of the future. They're local jobs. I agree with Ken on this point, that Connecticut isn't there to create jobs. They're there to create policy. These policies have to be business-friendly policies. I am also in favor of eliminating the business entity tax and helping businesses maintain the jobs that they have. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Kiner, how will the $3.4 billion Connecticut state deficit impact what you intend to do as a state legislator?
That's a good question. It's a giant deficit, and it will impact our decisions for the entire session is going to be concentrated on the budget. In good times, they do fun stuff like naming a state bird. This year, they're going to have to concentrate on getting rid of that deficit. We need to look at our state agencies, use result-based accountability. Look at why these agencies were created in the first place and these programs were created in the first place. If they're not doing what they were created to do, then we have to get rid of them or consolidate them with another agency.
Thank you, Mr. Kramer. Mr. Nelson.
$3.4 billion. I've heard that number all night, thrown back and forth. What about the $50, $60 billion that they've taken from the pension fund? Bernie Madoff did the same thing with people's money, and he's in jail right now. How does the state get away with taking the state employee's pension, whether you agree with it or not, and spending it on other things? What's going to happen when that money's due? Unemployment is bankrupt in this state. We're taking the money from the feds. What happens when the feds can't borrow any more money? We need to start making changes and correct these situations because we can't keep borrowing our future. It's got to stop.
Thank you. And now that the candidates will be given 2 minutes each for their closing statements. Mr. Kiner.
Well, that was quick. That really was quick. Again, I would like to thank the Youth Vote program and the students for hosting this debate this evening. Also, I'd like to thank my opponent for a lively exchange of information and ideas. You know, growing up, I watched my parents devote themselves to making Enfield a better place. They raised me to believe in the importance of community service, and I'm proud to continue that legacy. My wife and I are committed to doing the same thing that our parents did for us. As a member of the Enfield Town Council, I fought for openness in government and have continuously opposed destructive cuts in the budget that have hurt our children and seniors. As the clerk of the Public Safety and Security Committee in Hartford, I've seen up close how the General Assembly operates, and I know that I can make a difference for Enfield from day one. I've been your voice in Enfield. Now let me be your voice in Hartford. I'm asking for your vote November 2nd to be your next state representative. Thank you. Have a great night.
Thank you, Mr. Kiner.
Again, I'd like to thank all of you for coming tonight. I have to say, I really especially would like to thank David. We agreed to keep a clean campaign, and we have. We have the cleanest campaign running in the state of Connecticut, and I'm proud to say that David is my opponent, and he is a great young man. I'm just very concerned right now about experience. I have experience in dealing with out-of-control health costs, experience in creating jobs and how to run a business, experience on how to do more with less, experience working in the minority and the majority, because I worked on both sides, experience in dealing with the unions that have tied the hands of the municipalities for years and years and years. David, yes, his family is a great, well-known family. The Kiner name is very strong. And it should also be associated with the similar times we faced 20 years ago when they voted in the state income tax, the largest income tax the state has ever seen. Well, we're facing the same problems today as we faced 20 years ago. What is their next move? I don't want to take the chance. I hope I can count on your support November 2nd. Thank you.
Thank you. I would like to thank you both, and I would also like to say an additional thank you to all the candidates, Senator John Kissel, Representative Karen Jarmock, Representative Catherine Talrita, Mr. Thomas Sherrod, Mr. David Kiner, and Mr. Ken Nelson for coming out here tonight and supporting the Enfield Youth Vote. And additional thanks to our advisors, Ms. Whitbrow, Ms. Mazzone, Mr. Sweeney, Mr. Oshafsky, and the lovely Ms. Kokinius, and everyone else who had helped make tonight possible. Each have given their time, efforts, and health to help organize tonight's debate. The panelists, Shelby Poyato, Robin Connery, and Christina Rogers, and all the other students who have volunteered tonight. Also, if you are looking to watch our debate on TV, you can watch it on ETV tomorrow at 7 p.m., Saturday at 3 p.m., and Sunday at 7 p.m. Please check the ETV website for additional information. And I hope you enjoyed our debate and you're leaving this building a more educated voter. And drive safely.
Okay, there you go. We are at the end of our debate tonight. You can hear the applause in the back, but we want to get the wrap up here. So we're with Nick Ruel again and also Adam Scavato. So, Nick, did you think that any particular candidate won this debate and why?
Kiner. I think Kiner because when it came to, Nelson. When it came to him having the exact same word-for-word profile as Sherrod, I think that's a huge problem. You need to be supporting the people, not what you think being in the Republican Party. Also, I think Kiner, trying to think. Oh, he seems to want to speak more for the people rather than his party itself, and he seems to agree with a lot of what Ken Nelson is saying. I also think that Nelson had an advantage, though, because he, as a small business owner, he knows what's going on better than Kiner does. So,
I believe that Ken Nelson kind of won the debate because with all the answers that he gave, it kind of like a clear, concise kind of thing where he got to the question that was being asked and he answered it in a good way. I mean, Kiner, I kind of feel like he talked in circles a little bit. I mean, he just kind of beat around the bush with things that Nelson said, and I just think Nelson just overall got him.
And was there anything that you didn't hear that you had hoped to hear?
Nothing really. I can't speak for anybody else, but personally, I think all my questions got answered. I mean, there really aren't any more big issues other than like education, taxes, small businesses, and how to get them back into the state. But yeah, I think there's nothing else to talk about.
Took the words right out of my mouth. I agree. Not much that else I wanted to hear. Education was something I wanted to hear more about, especially being a student. It impacts me more than anything else, and I think that they could have elaborated a little bit more.
Okay, thank you, both of you, and that'll be the end of our coverage tonight of the debates, and thank you for viewing. Yes, I do. Thank you.